So hello again. Yeah, I don't know what day it is. Day 4? Okay. I had an idea for a video. I'm going to actually record it after this one for, how to deal with when you're down for the holidays and during the winter months, and how to maintain, kind of your spiritual practice and kind of boost your mood. But I went shopping and I got something for it, and then I got something else, and I wanted to show it off, and it was like the only thing I was going to show off, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I can talk about something. And so one of the things with the holidays is, I don't know about you, but when it comes to items that are tarot related or witchy related or pagan related, I'm not going to get anything like that for Christmas. It's just a given. This right here, my coffin, I got years ago. That was actually one of the few things I've ever gotten that's kind of in that realm. And so I've also kind of stated in one comment on a video that I haven't really been watching a lot of videos from the community, and part of it is you kind of sometimes look at everything, especially when people get their new tarot decks, and you're just like, oh, I want that and I can't have that. And so you get these, that whole FOMO thing. I actually had to look that up, FOMO, because I'm out of touch and I had no idea what it meant. So but sometimes you do feel like you're being left out, and sometimes you do feel like, well, you have to have certain things in order for your practice to be perfect. The perfect practice is unique to you. Whether it's your spiritual practice, your witchy practice, or your tarot practice, it is unique to you. The way you read tarot, the decks you have, how you read those decks, unique to you. The way you practice witchcraft will be unique to you. The way you connect to spirit and practice your spirituality, completely unique to you. No two people will ever do it the same way. So, but it didn't stop me, 20 something years ago from feeling like, okay, I have to have the perfect altar, and I have to have this, and I have to have that in order to be witchy. And of course my nose itches. I think it's a tick. I don't know. But, I got caught up in that, and I have, still to this day, little vials of oils, because I had to have, 30 different ones, that I hardly ever used. I have an athame that's somewhere where I can't reach it. No. Somewhere where I can't reach it. See, I felt like I had to have an athame. So I bought this 20 something years ago. Have I ever used it? Nope. I don't even think I consecrated it. Didn't care, but I felt like I had to have it. And I see that a lot when people start out. They feel like, oh, I have to have it, I have to have it, I have to have it to, be good at it, or, but to get everything you have in your practice, even, everything I have on my altar, it took time, and, it's not something I did overnight. I didn't just go out and buy everything I needed to have the perfect altar, or, I didn't go out and buy every tarot book to learn tarot perfectly, within a week. That's not going to happen. So one of the things you need to realize, especially this time of year, especially if this is not something your family is really into, and they're not going to really get you any of the little things you want, you can be creative. There's my nose again. And get things and repurpose and reuse, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg. I think this altar cloth here, which I love and adore, is just not right for this altar at this time of year. And so I was kind of bummed. And I think at the time, 20 plus years ago, it was probably like $12, $15. I have no idea what it would be like now. And I don't know about you, I have ruined altar cloths. I have caught them on fire. I have spilt oil all over them. I have gotten wax all over them. And so I'm not spending $20, $30, $40 for something that I'm going to destroy when I can't really afford it. And so one of the things I did today is I got an altar cloth for my winter altar. And I'll show that in a second. But some of the things, you know, to give you some ideas of what you can do is like, I love candles, and that's one of the things I'm going to talk about in my next video is deals with candles. And my favorite candles to get are ones like this. Look at that. That's a little jar. I'm going to clean this bad boy up. I'm going to use it as a jar. Another one. All disgusting. Cleans out pretty easy. I have a jar for herbs. These actually I had to burn a scented candle one day. Actually over several days. These smell amazing. Again, nice jar. I'm going to clean this out. I'm going to have a jar. My brother has off of Etsy, it's a little tooth fairy skeleton, and he wanted a jar to put it in. And they had bigger ones of these, and so I had to burn that candle so he could have the jar. You know, most of my candle holders, you saw I did a couple candle holders that I got at a thrift store. Most of my candle holders come from thrift stores. I think I have, for my very first altar, over there, I have some brass candlesticks that I spent an arm and a leg for. And I really don't use them that often. But I found some really pretty ones at yard sales, thrift stores, Dollar Tree. You know, one of my favorites, because I use a lot of tea lights, are these guys. I have a pair of these for my altar. Because that's what works. And sometimes, you know, I find things like the pine cones are all found. I painted them. Did I spend a lot of money on the spray paint? No, because I'm cheap and I did not buy it at a craft store. I went to a hardware store. Thank you very much. Because I use it for my art as well. So it took years to get everything. And sometimes you look at stuff from the Dollar Tree and you think, oh, it's cheesy. But you will evolve over time. And you will find things. And they will call to you. When you see them, you will know that that's important and that's what you should be getting. And that's the thing. It's like, what's the difference between need and want? And I'm going to talk a little bit about my tarot wish list, what it was and what it's going to become. And I realized, well, every deck was on my wish list, but I didn't need any of those decks. I wanted them, and then I narrowed down why I wanted them. And so that's what goes into why I got a new altar cloth. I wanted something that covered better and was wintry, and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So I went to the craft store, and that's why I have no money right now, because I spent it all. But one of the things that's nice that you can do for altar cloths, and this is kind of also why I wanted to do this. This is called a fat quarter. This is what it looks like. I don't know how big it is. Less than 2 feet by 2 feet. It's like 20 inches by 20 inches, something like that. Those are great for small altars, and almost any store that sells fabrics will have fat quarters. They're used for quilting, and they're usually pretty cheap. They're usually like $3, $4 for a fat quarter. Now, if you want something bigger, like my altar is about almost 3 feet across, 3 feet square. It's huge. Then you need to say buy fabric. Now, I bought an altar cloth for my winter altar, and it wasn't $20, $30, $40. It was like $8. And yes, it has the nasty little white thing, which will go on the side, but look at it! Look. Let's see if I can get it. Look what it has on it. Those are little pentagrams. What the hell? I saw that and fell in love. And I thought, that's perfect for my winter altar. And I might actually wind up ruining it this winter. So who knows? But that's just something I want to talk about is, you know, and I'm guilty of it. I love watching videos where people show off their altars, show off things they got. And I've had to stop myself from getting envious and thinking, oh, but I want that. It's like, yeah, I do want some of those things, but do I really need them? And things will come in time. You know, that's what's important, to be unique to you and to really call to you. And so the takeaway from this is I saw several different patterns of fabric that were Christmassy. This is the one that called to me, and it was worth the $8 to get it. So that's what will be perfect for my altar. May not be perfect for yours, but it's an idea to be frugal, you know, reuse what you can. Like I said with these, I mean, once this is cleaned up, that's going to be a really cute herb jar. You know, how much you know, I get 2 uses. I got a great candle that I got to burn, and I'm going to have an herb jar. So why not? And that's kind of what I want to tell everybody. It's like, you don't have to have everything right now. Take your time, be creative, be frugal, look in places you wouldn't think. It's like, I didn't go out to, you know, most people's like, oh, where am I going to buy an altar cloth? Do I have to go to a metaphysical shop? No, I went to a craft store and bought a 2/3 of a yard of fabric, and that's my altar cloth. So be creative, think outside the box, and realize you don't have to have everything now. Your practice, all your practices, your spiritual, your witchy practice, and oh my God, I just got a mouthful of dust from something. And your tarot practice will all grow and evolve over time, and you're going to change, and it's going to change. And something you may get at the very beginning because you had to have it, maybe something you never use, and you may wind up getting rid of because it's just not going to match who you are, you know, a year, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years later. So I just wanted you all to keep that in mind and, you know, have fun this day and keep your chin up during the holidays. Much love and blessings.